Hello, this is Lauren again from Darktree Circle. Um, Before our meeting on September 11th, I would like to give you guys a reading list. And obviously, it's a bunch of books. You don't have to read them all for the meeting by any means. But if you would like some books to read and you haven't read these yet, then you've got some more to read now. So I'd like to first start off with, this is no particular order. I just kind of grabbed them off my shelf and stuck them here to show you guys. So, okay, this book is called The Only Wiccan Spell Book You'll Ever Need, and it is by Marion Singer and Trish McGregor. And I like this book. Obviously, it is not the only Wiccan spell book you will ever need because it's tiny, little bitty. I mean, here's my hand. It's not big. So, it's got a lot of good stuff. But honestly, the reason I bought it was to get a spell for basically guarding, like a guarding spell to help you to guard your emotions, basically. And that wasn't in here. So, I thought that was a pretty simple spell. And, it may have just been a matter of shielding yourself. But since I was so new to Wicca when I bought this book, I didn't find what I was looking for. So that was kind of a disappointment. But otherwise, it's got a lot of different things in here. And it wouldn't hurt to have it in your library. So there's that one. It was very inexpensive. It was only $8. So cheap book. I'm sure you can find it for even cheaper somewhere. Okay, then the next book I have, this is like my Bible, seriously. It is called The Dream Dictionary. Get the glare off there. By Tony Crisp. It is an A to Z guide to understanding your unconscious mind. And it's quite thick. And literally it is like my Bible because, when I have a dream that I don't understand, I just go in here and I kind of interpret it. Although I do kind of have a gift. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I have a gift of kind of being able to tell what a dream means just from piecing little tiny bits together. So it's easy for me. It might not be easy for you. It takes practice because you end up, doing it a few times and, maybe 10 or 20 times, and then you eventually decide, okay, I think I got the gist of it. Because a lot of dreams are very similar, even though they might be totally random and weird. But anyway, so Dream Dictionary by Tony Crisp, really, really good one. I love it. This book, this was the second big, thick Wiccan book that I read when I was starting off on my journey. I have to be honest, I don't like this book. I don't think it's horrible. I don't think it's bad or anything like that. It's just her writing style didn't mesh with me. It's like sometimes you go and you read a book and it's just whoever wrote it, it's like you don't click with their writing style or something. I don't know. I was like that with J.K. Rowling. Although I love the movies, I just couldn't read the books. It just wasn't my thing. Anyway, this is called To Ride a Silver Broomstick, and it's by Silver Ravenwolf. She's a very highly acclaimed and wonderful person and in the Wiccan community and paganism and everything. And a lot of people really look up to her and think she's fantastic, and she is. She's awesome. It's just that, I probably won't read any more by her. Or I probably will. I should change that. I probably will just to say I've read it and to have more of that stuff in my mind. But as far as being a favorite author, probably not. No offense. Anyway, but it's good. It's good. If you like, if you want to take Wicca super seriously, and if you want to be super formal with it, I feel like she was even more formal than Buckland, in my opinion. She was. And maybe that's why I wasn't a big fan of her, because she was really, really specific on a lot of things, and I'm not. So, okay, I just finished this book, Pagan Parenting by Kristen Madden. And this one, I guess maybe she's like a different form of pagan than me. I tend to be more logical. I tend to be less up in the clouds, although I am very up in the clouds. But I felt like a lot of this stuff was kind of like too mystical for me, if that makes sense. but mostly just in the beginning. But when you got like back to the very end of the book, it was very good. So I'd recommend it if you want to raise your children in the pagan belief system. She goes through all the different ones. She's actually a druid, but she talks about Wicca, and she talks about heathen, and she talks about a couple other pagan faiths. So, it's a good book. It's a good book to read. It's very short, so if you're like me, you'll go through it in 2 days or less. So, anyway, Pagan Parenting, good book. All right. This one I like. This is also kind of like a Bible to me, the Sabbat book by Elaine McCoy. And this one it's a witch's approach to living in the old ways. And so what this one is it's basically just a book that you can kind of read through once, and then after you read through it, every Sabbat you can go back and see what traditional things you can do, like what the candle colors are, and what the traditional food is, and things like that. And it has some like pretty cool crafty things you can do. So I like this book. It's pretty neat. I want more like this so that I have other perspectives, because obviously everybody has their own way of doing things each holiday. So like I've seen, Samhain's colors are brown and orange, and then I've seen somebody say black and orange. So, it is up to interpretation. Everybody has their own way. Anyway, so Sabbat's and Elaine McCoy, very good one. Okay, now this is my favorite book of all. Buckland's Complete Book of Witchcraft. I love it. Raymond Buckland is awesome, and I suggest this to any new Wiccan, or at least anybody who's looking into it. Even somebody who's not Wiccan and just wants to learn about Wicca. This is the one you need to read. It's fantastic. I was going to say it's not that long, but it's very big. It's huge. Very, very big. So, excuse me. It's going to be a long read. It's not going to take you 2 days. It'll take you a while because you're going to want to soak it all in. It's very, very informative. But anyway, most Wiccans have read this book. And if you haven't, then where have you been? No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, yes. Raymond Buckland, pretty much anything by him I would suggest. Which leads into the next book. Wicca for One, The Path of Solitary Witchcraft. And this is Raymond Buckland as well. Honestly, this is almost identical to the Blue Book. Almost the same book. The only difference is it might be a little more in depth on the Wicca side, because the Blue Book is about Wicca and witchcraft, whereas this one is leaning more towards the Wicca aspect, which a lot of people say they're the same, but they are separate. Anyway, so going into this, yeah, I mean, honestly, it's almost the same book. It's just written differently. So, but it's a good one to read. It maybe a little shorter if you want a quick synopsis of the Blue Book, but I still recommend reading the blue one. Okay, and then the last book I have here, I only have 9 minutes, so I have to hurry. Maiden Mother Crone, and this one is by B.J. Conway. And to be honest with you, I don't really remember this one, but I know I read it. So if that says much, I guess it was probably boring to me, unfortunately. But there you go, another one that I've read. And so, well, it goes in depth, about the Maiden Mother Crone and talking about the goddess. This was a little more like of the, what's it called? Dianic Wicca, which is like more feminist Wicca, and they focus more on the goddess. And in my opinion, you should focus on the god and the goddess. So that's all I really remember from that book, but that's another one. I have lots of other books that I've read, but those were the ones that I felt should be on here. And I've got a stack about that big right now that my friend Rebecca gave me that I need to be reading next. So I will keep you posted if I find some more good ones. Blessed be.